Hey guys, my name is Divya. I have a doctorate in pharmacology and I am now working for a healthcare IT company. I've been doing management exams for a while and I've started my YouTube channel over here to share some tips as to how to study for these exams. So I recently took the SHRM-SCP exam and the testing window, the spring testing window ends at the end of this month. So I've been getting a lot of messages and a lot of emails to discuss the day of the exam, since the day of the exam for a lot of other people is right around the corner. I've started the series on YouTube to ensure that everybody gets a little bit of my experience and I can share whatever I went through, and if this is helpful to even that one person, I think this is totally worth it. So today's video is going to be a little bit chit-chatty, very unlike my last video, which was a PowerPoint slide presentation which had 3 tips. So today's video, as I said, will be chatty. I'm going to chat for a while. I just want to ensure that I get everything in and all the questions that have been sent via messages and emails are answered in this video. The focus of today's topic is the exam day that you're taking the SHRM exam. So regardless of whether it is the CP or the SCP, I hope that this video really helps you. So let me get into my story. I scheduled my exam for 28th of July 2020. No special reason. That was really the last date available in the spring testing window, and I wanted to attempt the exam at least once in the spring testing window. And I had this great plan that if I don't pass, then what would I do? I already had a plan B, my backup plan laid out. It might sound odd, it might sound silly, but this is the way that I calm my nerves. I feel like if I have a backup plan for everything, then things will go okay. And even if they don't, I have my backup plan to fall back on. So yes, I chose 28th July as my testing date. So the day of the exam or the previous night, I got a good night's sleep. I can't stress this enough. Please get a good night's sleep. It's really going to help you out. It's age-old advice and it really, really helps. Getting a good night's sleep means you can conquer the world the very next day. There's no point in fretting over it now. It's sort of all done, your preparation, and everybody has done well and worked hard in the previous few months. So just get a good night's sleep the night before and get up naturally and do the chores that you do. So I usually do things for my son. I pack his breakfast and his lunch, or I ensure things are ready for him so that I can go do either go to work, or as this day go take my exam. I took the remote Proctored exam, so I did not go to the testing center. Multiple reasons for that. One, we are in the middle of a pandemic and I did not want to go. Second, and more importantly, even more important than the pandemic, if you can imagine. So I stay in the city of Bangalore and the testing center is about 2 hours away from where I stay. It's not an easy drive, it's not an easy commute, and I really wanted to avoid the commute. The other thing with my life is that I stay inside a campus, so I could easily rent an office space inside this campus where I could take the test, hopefully in peace, which is what I was hoping. So all these reasons summed up, I decided to take the remote proctored exam, and that's what I registered for. So the day of the exam, I woke up naturally after a good night's sleep, made myself some breakfast, some heavy breakfast and some ginger tea, which is what I appreciate and enjoy. And then I also packed myself 2 parathas. If you're from somewhere in the world who doesn't know what parathas are, these are stuffed bread, freshly made bread stuffed with vegetables. So it's quite heavy and filling, and it's like an appropriate snack if you're taking a break during a professional exam, which is what I plan to do, and that's why I packed these for myself. I went to the office space that I rented a little bit early because my exam was supposed to start at 10:30 in the morning. So I was there by 10 and I wanted to get all the security checks done and I wanted to be in and ready for the exam at 10:30. The security checks take about 15 to 20 minutes. They scan your room, they scan your computer, they tell you to hold the mouse and show them, just in case there's nothing. They even tell you to take the webcam and show them things, if there's anything under your chair or your table. So it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Unfortunately for me, I had a security check and then the Prometric system logged me off. This happened about 5 times. So I went through the same security check with different remote proctors 5 times. So here I was going through just security checks for about 2 hours. It was quite taxing and quite nerve-wracking because I really thought that I may not be able to take the exam. And I even thought that if I get into the exam, the system might log me off. If it's logging me off during the security check, it might log me off even later. Fortunately, that didn't happen. It logged me off 5 times during the security check, but it did not log me off during the exam. I'm quite thankful for that. Thank goodness the Prometric system worked. A lot of questions have been raised about the internet connection that I was using, and believe me, I'm using a very good internet connection. The campus where I live, the institute provides one, and it's really of good quality. So I don't think that was the issue, and I'm really not sure what the issue was with the security checks. So here I was from 9:30 in the morning till 11:30 in the morning. I was only going through security checks, and that's when I started my 4-hour exam. So I've made some notes here about questions that people have sent in. So I will be referring to these questions just so I get every single question in. So one of the things that has been asked is, was the format of the exam similar to the practice exams mentioned in the learning management system? And the answer to this is yes. This is what I felt. In my opinion, the format of the practice exams in the learning management system and the format of the actual exam were very similar. There are 160 questions on the real exam, which is divided into 2 sections of 80 questions each. Once you get through section 1, that's 80 questions completed, you can't go back to that section, and the time allotted for that is 2 hours, and then the timer keeps running, and then you just move on to section 2, and that's another 80 questions. Just like everyone knows, I think 65 questions are situational judgment questions and 95 are standalone questions, so they test your knowledge. A lot of people dislike the situational judgment questions, and my suggestion to you is these questions are your friend. Just treat them as one. I mean, I know these questions are very long, they take a while to read through, and there are important sentences that might be just smudged into a long paragraph, but at the end of the day, these are questions that test your knowledge and don't require memorization. So I like things that don't require memorization because it means that I don't have to bank on my memory actually being dependable enough to actually produce the answer right at that second. It means that the answer is probably right there in the paragraph in the SJT questions, and I just have to process it right and arrive at the right answer. So I would say to treat SJTs as your friend, and I think we'll all do well on this exam. So sticking to the question, yes, the format of the practice exams in the LMS and the actual exam were quite similar. Each question does have 4 options, and you have to choose the best answer. So just go with the flow, and I think you will be able to arrive at the answer after so many months of hard work. The second question people have asked me is, was the language of questions very similar to the language in the learning management system? And again, I feel like SHRM has done a good job, and the language and the way things are asked, the style of asking questions was very similar to the learning management system. There will always be questions that you will feel stumped by, and that's okay. Just know that that is okay. There'll always be questions that you'll wonder where they got this from. This was never mentioned in the notes in the learning management system or never mentioned in the class I attended. And I think that's okay. Just eliminate all the answers that you definitely think are wrong and then go with your best guess. Because that would be an educated guess. You've studied for many months and there is something in the back of your brain cells which is probably telling you that this is the right answer. So that's what I did with those questions. So 70% of the exam I would feel definitely came from the learning management system. So just focus on that. And the other 30%, I'm not really sure where that came from, but I think that one can process those questions enough such that you can arrive at the right answer. And that's my best tip or my best advice for those kinds of questions. Another question people sent me is, are questions in the learning management system easier than the ones that appear on the exam? So this is a tough one to answer. No matter what kind of exam we take, us humans tend to feel that the actual exam is definitely tougher than all the mock exams or the practice exams that we took. But to be objective and to be fair, I think most of the questions looked very similar in style. So I would say that the difficulty level that the learning management system presents is really good to prepare us for the actual exams. So I hope that all that I've shared in this video calms your nerves down, because I think the learning management system, even though I agree that it is extremely expensive, is definitely the way to go. Test yourself, retest yourself, and just prepare with the questions, the quizzes, the post-exams, the practice exams available in the learning management system. This is not a sponsored video. A lot of people have asked me if SHRM or the LMS is paying me to do this, and I wish, but they're not. They're really not. I'm just doing this to share my experience and whatever I've been through. One more thing about the exams. It's easy to take a practice exam and feel low after looking at your score, and believe me, it happens to everybody. I think the only thing we have to do is learn from the wrong answers or our mistakes and then move on, because that's what learning is all about. So in this video, all I did was shared everything that I went through on the day of the exam, and I hope that this helps you. One last thing I wanted to say before I wrap this up. It helps to take a break. I know that the 4 hours that SHRM offers for this exam won't feel enough. I had about 10 minutes left when I had answered all the questions. So when I say 10 minutes left, there were plenty of questions that I had marked on the exam, and I couldn't go back to every single question. I just tried to review as many as I could, and then the timer ran out. And again, it feels like that was okay. I mean, you go with your best answer, mark that down, and you move on. And if you want to flag a question, you can just come back to it later if you have time. The second thing I'd like to say is take a break. After section 1 ends and you're 80 questions down, 50% of the exam is over. I know that the timer is running, and I know that you would lose the 5 minutes, but I think it's okay to take a bathroom break, grab a quick snack and quench your thirst before coming back. It will give you some energy. This is the way that I took, and I recommend it to everybody else. I know the spring testing window is coming to an end on 31st of August, and all the very, very, very best. I hope that everybody gets certified and all your dreams come true. Thank you so much for watching, and do message me or email me or write in the comments below if you want a specific video made.